How's it going, everybody? Welcome to Religion 150, Introduction to World's Religions. And that's what we're going to talk about. Welcome to the course. Welcome to the semester. Hope everyone's getting settled in here in the first week. And in this week, for this course, we're just asking the question, what is religion? Which I think is, we're talking about a religion course, a good place to start. Just kind of a working definition that we all should have. In the lecture, I gave some other definitions of religions. A lot of people have tried to define this term. There's no perfect one, which is great. I mean, that's why I kind of wanted you to think about what religion is to you. But yeah, it's just so far, just kind of, hopefully you got to get the format of Lamaku. I know every professor has a different little way. So this week, just kind of get familiar with it. All my pages will look the same. They'll have, each week we'll have an introduction, some lessons, the assignment, a little conclusion. Each lesson will be similar. It'll have, lectures, some readings, the textbook. We are going to have a textbook. It's online. You can find it. There's a link in the lesson page itself. It's also in the course resources. It's open education. It's free. Just do the readings, the chapters. You don't need to do any of the assignments. We'll do different assignments on that I have. So, but if you want to kind of look at them, you can. But just basically the textbook gives an idea, and then I'll supplement that. I'll talk about that in the lectures. I'll talk about some main points from the textbook, but also supplement it with some other information as well. And then I'll also try to kind of include some as we get further along, some major texts from each religion that are prominent, so we'll get a sense of these beliefs and also practices as well. Cool. I think that's it. Take a look at the syllabus. There's a little survey if you could fill that out. That just kind of checklists some of the main points of the syllabus, like who I am, the importance of guidelines, following the guidelines, what to do if you miss an assignment, those kind of things, and then kind of a layout as well of the course is there. I think that's it with sort of the layout. And this week, again, the lecture here is really, that what is religion? So we kind of talk about that. I'll give some, like I mentioned, I give some introductions of that, other definitions of religion to kind of contemplate. And then I use the textbook. And the textbook, I think, does a good job of dividing religion into two sort of broad categories, the functional and the substantive. Functional being kind of like how religion functions, like these questions is asked, where did we come from, who are we, why are we here, kind of the fundamentalness of religion, which humans have been asking themselves since they could pose questions. And then the substantive, right, the sort of physical things, symbols, signs, churches, architecture, those kind of things. And then what I call sort of the metaphysical as well. So the beliefs, faith, the Newman, the experience, the religious experience that you get. Newman's a good religious idea that that religion elicits a feeling, an emotion, the mystery, the fear, the fascination of it. So kind of go over that. And then I also talk about just sort of a quick introduction of world religions, what we're talking about. As hopefully you've seen the syllabus, we're going to start with, next week we'll do sort of polytheism. We're going to start with the Abrahamic religions, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam first, because I think people are a little more familiar with those. And I think running through ideas of religion with things that we're more familiar with will be a little helpful as we move to other religions, Hinduism, Buddhism, and then other sort of what I call a little bit regional religions as well. So I think that'll kind of build those up there. And then the discussion post for this week, again, just one on Friday. It's sort of a discussion post / introductions. I think in the original syllabus I had two different ones, but I thought we could do it all at once. Because I think it kind of serves the same purpose. So who you are, where you're from, and then what is your definition of religion? And again, there's no wrong answer here. I just want us to kind of start thinking about that. So I kind of mentioned, please don't use AI. Don't type in what is religion there. Hopefully in this class, we're going to be talking about beliefs and ideas and I want you to kind of transition to what do you think? How do you work through there? So what is your definition, and then explain what that means, right? If you're going to define it, why are you defining it this way? I posted an example there already for your reference. And then if you're comfortable, you can or don't, where you stand in religion, if you're religious or not. I talk about in mine, right, that I'm sort of all religious. I like them all. I think they're all very fascinating. And that how they arrive at answer different questions, different substances, different functions, but they're all somewhat similar in how they approach different things. They come up with different answers to these questions, but sort of the similarities of how they go about it, I find very fascinating, and I'll share that with you this semester. So that's kind of the overall point of the course, and then two other points I want to sort of talk about that you'll find in the student resources section. One, there's there's student announcements. So I add the Ka'io Weekly, and then I go through there, and if there's anything I find that are student opportunities, I'll put out there. So take a look at those. I think you get the email as well, but it's just sort of another resource for you. Then the other thing I do want people to look at is this Ka'au framework, because that's really what we're trying to integrate into classes here at Hawaii Community College. And the idea here is that, or what we're trying to do is that we're trying to kind of make education a little more holistic, that it's not just, I'm taking this class to get a credit, to get a degree, to get a job, right? Which is great. And actually, that's a good path. But how do we put that all together, right? And Ka'au is a story. So we're trying to kind of think about, Ka'au means story, like how does this class in this semester at this college, if you look at those at each sort of chapters of this story, right, how do they play into the larger story of your life, right? How does this semester, how does it all intertwine, right? That it's not these separate disjuncted episodes, right? But they all kind of work together. And that's what the Ka'au framework really tries to do by kind of following these ideas of the story, that there's a hua, an egg, a motivation. So what is that? Why are you here? Why are you at Hawaii Community College? What do you want to achieve? And then even more specifically, why are you in this class? Is there something about religion you find fascinating? Do you want to learn more about it? What are those things? What are those, and what other classes are you taking, right? So what is that motivation? So maybe be thinking about that. What is it you want to get out of this semester or this class or your experience at Hawaii Community College? And then there's the ha'alele, the departure. What do you have? What kind of skills do you have to go there? Like in this class, the textbook and various lectures. Those are the kind of things that'll help you prepare for this semester. And then we are just about to embark on the huaka'i, the journey. We're going to be together for 16 weeks, right? How's that journey going to go, right? And then it's kind of up to you, right? We do the work. Get do the readings, stay on task. The journey should be pretty straightforward, though, as we know with every journey and stories, there's rocky parts. How are you going to navigate those storms and currents and rapids, right? This stuff's going to happen in this class, in other classes, outside of school. How are you going to navigate those things, and what resources are you going to use to help you get through those? And then the hoina, the coming back, what are we going to do at the end? The completion of it, and then the haina, the proclamation, what we can take from this class and share with other people about what we learned about religion, world's religions, those kind of things. So that's where we talk about this sort of holistic thing, that school isn't just a bunch of check boxes that you have to get through, but that we're trying to kind of make education a little more well-rounded, make the graduates at Hawaii Community College well-rounded people, and that's why we're taking some of these courses, learning about world religions or whatever else you're learning about as part of these larger stories of who we are. So that's that. I look forward to a good semester, and